containing her smile. This guy was the antithesis of her type. Boring. No thanks. Her present aversion to boring existed at a visceral level. "I'm sorry, but I'll have to pass. I was heading up to my room to crash. Maybe some other time." He deflated like a punctured balloon.
"Sure, I understand. You must be exhausted after that lively—" he grinned again. "Discussion."
Discussion? Had he been there? Bloodbath seemed a more fitting description, and she felt particularly anemic at the moment. "Yeah," she muttered, eyes narrowing. She yanked her hand from his, spun on her heel, and continued toward the elevator, walking around the edge of the hotel's bar and skirting several bushy potted plants. A loud round of laughter drew her attention to the cocktail lounge. 4 men sat in a semicircular booth, laughing at a 5th man who was lying on his back in the center of their table. The table, covered with glasses containing various amounts of amber liquid, tilted precariously under the man's weight as he leaned to one side. His companions scrambled to rescue their beers from certain demise.
"Tell the room to stop spinning,"
the lounging man shouted at the knockoff Tiffany lamp above the table.
"No more beer for you, Brian,"
one of his friends said. Brian held up a finger. "1 more." He lifted another finger.
"Or 2.
Another finger.
"Maybe 4.
Myrna grinned. The 5 of them didn't exactly blend with the conference attendees, mostly professors, scattered throughout the lounge and lobby. The unconventional crew in the booth drew more than their fair share of animosity and stares. Was it the tattoos? The various piercings and spiked jewelry? The dyed hair, strange haircuts, and black clothing? Whatever. They were just guys being guys. And not a boring one in the bunch, she'd wager. Myrna took a hesitant step toward the elevator. She'd love to go hang out with them for a while. She could use a little fun. Something other than stimulating conversation with an intellectual. She got enough of that at work. Brian, still lounging in the center of the table, vocalized a riff while playing masterful air guitar on his back. Myrna recognized the series of notes at once. She used it in her class discussion on male sensuality because no one on earth played a guitar more sensually than Master Sinclair. "Hold the phone." "Could that be?" "Nah. What would the rock group Sinners be doing at a college teaching conference? They were probably just fans of the band. Though the name Brian made her lead guitarist senses tingle. Wasn't Sinners' lead guitarist named Brian Sinclair? One of the men seated in the booth turned his head to scratch his chin with his shoulder. Despite his mirrored sunglasses, she instantly recognized vocalist Cedric Lionheart. Her heart rate kicked up a couple notches. It was Sinners.
"I am so fucking drunk,"
Brian yelled. He rolled off the table, knocking over several empty beer glasses, and landed on the laps of 2 of his companions. They dumped him unceremoniously on the floor. Myrna snorted, and then glanced around to make sure no one had witnessed her produce such an unladylike sound. She had to go talk to them. She could pretend she wanted to meet them because of her seminar. In truth, she loved their music. They weren't too hard on the eyes, either. The definition of exactly her type. Wild. Yes, please. Guaranteed to give her exactly what she needed after the day she'd had. Abandoning her plan to hide in her room, Myrna skirted the low wall that separated the lounge area from the corridor. She paused in front of Brian, who was struggling to crawl to his hands and knees. She set her lumpy laptop case on